I still don't see the title card. Where's our entrance? I don't hear the music. Dance with me until the music comes. Hi, everybody. I'm Barnibus Quill from Puppets and Paperbacks. Today, I'm going to talk to you about my favorite fantasy called Tress of the Emerald Sea by Sanderson. Joining me is the male human I live with. As always, ignore him.
Hi, I'm the male human.
Shh, 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 shh. Male human, show us the book. Ooh. Ooh. What a pretty book.
Indeed, what a pretty book. What genre of book is this?
I don't know. What does the book say? I just say fantasy.
Why do you say fantasy?
Because the ocean is waterless. Duh.
That's weird. Why is the ocean waterless? How is it an ocean?
Oh my god. Why don't you ever read the books? Let me just tell you about it.
Please.
Okay, there's this planet where the ocean has no water, but it's gaseous, like her butt. And it's gaseous fungus that pushes the boats along, but sometimes the airflow stops, so the boat stops. It makes it interesting when pirates are involved. Technically, you wouldn't die if you went overboard, but on this planet you will because of the fungus.
I see. So why or how does the fungus kill you then?
Some of the fungus makes vines and plants grow from you. Other fungus takes over your body, things like that. The fungus was my favorite part of the story. They use the fungus in their cannon, so like when they throw a cannonball and it hits the boat, the fungus comes out and the vines start to take over the ship because there's fungus in the ocean that gets in the boat as well. I told you.
Okay, that makes sense. So this sounds very interesting. Who is the main character of this story?
Oh my god. Her name is Tress. It's not really, but she has some awful name like Griswold, and so thankfully people just call her Tress. She she's the main character, but she's also the hero. I like this story because the female is the hero and she saves the prince. Also, there's a lot of cup references, and I'm gonna have to ask Garone. Tress and the prince, they live on a rock. Well, I think an island, but no one is ever allowed to leave, and I don't really know why, but there's a king on this island, and he's kind of a jerk. Because he takes his son off the island, and then his son gets captured, and then he comes back with a new son.
I see. Okay, so how does she leave the rock if no one else can?
Okay, so she can't leave the island, but she tells her parents that she wants to go save her prince. And then the dad, who like doesn't walk, but then like he now is able to walk, he gets the townspeople to help her leave on a boat by pretending to be a proctor, protector. What are the people who check to make sure no one is leaving? One of those people. She pretends to be them, and then that's how she leaves the island.
Okay. I don't think it's proctor. Proctologist?
That's but she needs this.
Okay. So why does the town help her escape then?
I don't know. I think because they like her, because she's like this nice character that like she goes out of her way to like help people, and she like puts people first. And also I think the town just hates the king.
Okay. That makes sense. I could see why they would want to help her escape if they hate the king. Have you read any of Brandon Sanderson's other works?
No, this is my first one. And I think if you're afraid to read any of his other work because they're a lot of books, this one is a standalone, so it would be good to read, and it's cute and lighthearted. No one dies at the end. It's a happily ever after.
Okay. That sounds like a good entry point for somebody who might want to start with Brandon Sanderson's books.
Yeah, it's cute.
Okay. Is there any, would you call this a romantasy, or is this like a straight up fantasy?
No, just fantasy, because the romance only happens at the end, but it's not even real romance. She's just like, oh, I saved you. That's it.
Okay. That sounds fun. Okay. So you said that she escapes the island. So she escapes, and then what happens? Like the book's just, that's the end of the book, or is more happen after she escapes?
So the story starts when she escapes. So the story is her escaped adventure at like trying to save her prince. So like she escapes the island pretending to be the P word person. Patrolman maybe is the word. But the ship she escapes on turns out to be a like overtaken by pirates pretending to be the people, the tradesmen, and so they put her in prison on the ship, but then other pirates attack the ship she's on, and that's where she learns that there's a rat that can talk, and so the rat becomes her friend.
Okay.
And then she escapes this pirate ship and like walks on the fungus ocean because the water stopped, and then she climbs onto the pirate ship that destroyed her boat, and then they say like, oh, if she holds on for 15 minutes then we can bring her on board, and she does, and then so now she is on the other pirate ship that destroyed the pirate ship that she was on.
Okay. I like what I'm hearing so far. Do you want to spoil the end for anybody?
Of course. Okay. That's my favorite part.
If you haven't read the end of this book, skip ahead or turn off now.
Okay. Well, so then in the pirate boat, I forgot the name of the boat. You have to read it. There's a captain. I also forgot the captain's name. You got to read it. But the captain has fungus that lives inside of them, and the pirate captain is trying to go to some dragon to ask the dragon to make the fungus that lives inside of them go away. And in order to get your wish from the dragon, you have to sacrifice someone. And the pirate wants to sacrifice Tress. But then at the end of the book, Tress becomes like the leader of the pirate ship, because as she goes on this journey, she learns that she's a leader after all, and like that she's strong and a powerful lady. And so she gets wishes from the dragon and gives them the captain. So joke's on the captain. And then Tress goes to the witch lady who put a curse on Hoyd. Oh yeah, Hoyd's on the ship, but he has his brain scrambled, so he just does weird things. Oh, and the story is told from Hoyd's perspective, so I don't know if we can trust this story, but anyways, Hoyd eventually gets his memory back because I forgot why, but he gets it back. But then Tress, she saves her prince, and it turns out that the rat that she's been talking to was her prince all along, and the sorceress lady had turned him into a rat. And it's like part of the curse. But anyway, so she saves him, and then the weird cups things comes back again. I don't know, I gotta ask Roan. But then the witch lady gets banished somehow, and then that's the end.
Okay. Tell me a little bit more about Hoyd, is it? The narrator of the book? Yeah. What kind of person is he? What kind of character is he?
I don't really know what planet he's from, but he is like a wizard man. Like, he's got powers because, like, the queen sorceress lady, she's like kind of afraid of him, but somehow was able to trick him to like scramble his brain. Yeah, I don't know. He's kind of goofy and a little bit funny and like lighthearted.
Okay, cool. Let's see, what else? You said that there's a rat? The prince has been a rat, is that right?
Yeah, it turned so like at the beginning of the story, the king and the prince leave the island, and then the sorceress lady catches him and apparently turns him into a rat that like serves her and is cursed, and yeah.
Okay, is he a talking rat when he's in rat form?
Yeah, duh.
Okay, and does she love this rat?
Yeah.
While he's in rat form?
Yeah, at the end, she's like, oh, you've been a rat this whole time, my love. Yeah, she loves him, and she's like, you can be a rat, and I will still love you. But then, like, I think Hoyd, because his brain isn't scrambled anymore, he, like, tells her how to break the curse so that he doesn't be a rat no more.
Oh, okay. Nice. That's some, like, Princess and the Frog type of ending there.
Okay.
Have you ever read that one?
No.
Oh, well, one day.
I don't read kid stories.
Hey, man.
I'm not a kid.
Okay. You don't have to be a kid to read the kid stories. And it's a classic.
You're a classic.